Dear Starseeds walking upon Gaia in this sacred hour, if this transmission has found you on this particular day, there is something stirring in the fabric of your reality that requires your immediate attention, something you have sensed but perhaps dismissed, something that has been whispering to you in the quiet hours before dawn, in the spaces between your heartbeats, and in the sudden pauses that arrive when the world falls silent around you. What I am about to share with you today carries the weight of cosmic necessity, for the energies descending upon your planet on December 22nd, 2025, contain a paradox that most of humanity will completely misunderstand. I am Seraphine, speaking to you now through the luminous frequencies of the Galactic Federation of Light. And before we proceed any further, I must tell you this. The message you are about to receive will contradict almost everything your modern world has taught you about progress, about momentum, about what it means to move forward in your life. Because today the universe is not asking you to accelerate. Today the cosmos is delivering a transmission encoded in the movement of celestial bodies, in the dance between moon and planets, in the delicate threading of Venus through the heart of divine partnership. And that transmission carries 3 words that your soul already knows to be true. Slow down now. But here is what makes this message different from any simple instruction to rest. Here is what separates this cosmic decree from the countless wellness platitudes that flood your earthly sphere. The slowing down I speak of is not retreat. It is not surrender. It is not the absence of power. What approaches you on this day is perhaps the most strategically significant pause your soul has orchestrated in this entire incarnation cycle. And I say orchestrated deliberately, because what appears to be stillness on the surface is actually a profound reorganization happening in dimensions your physical eyes cannot perceive. You have been preparing for something. You know this. You have felt it. And now, in the hours of December 22nd, the final pieces of that preparation are clicking into place, but only if you honor what the cosmos is asking of you. There is something else happening that I have not yet revealed to you. Something about the nature of this particular day that transforms everything you thought you knew about the relationship between action and manifestation. But before I share that truth, you must understand the celestial architecture that makes this moment so unprecedented. In the deep hours of this morning, while most of humanity slept unaware, a silent symphony began playing across the cosmic frequencies. At 4:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the moon formed a perfect trine with Uranus, the Great Awakener, the cosmic lightning bolt, the planetary force that shatters illusions and downloads revolutionary insight directly into the neural pathways of those prepared to receive it. This was not a gentle stirring. This was an electrical current of pure inspiration moving through the dream states of every sensitive soul on your planet. If you woke with unusual thoughts this morning, if images or ideas visited you in the liminal space between sleep and waking, if you found yourself suddenly clear about something that had confused you for weeks or months, this was not random. This was Uranus delivering a direct transmission into your consciousness while your analytical mind was temporarily offline. And then, barely 2 hours later, at 6:43 a.m., the moon reached out in harmonious aspect to Neptune, the planet of dreams, of divine imagination, of the veil between worlds grown gossamer thin. This Neptune contact took whatever insights Uranus had planted and wrapped them in the softest fabric of intuitive knowing. Where Uranus gave you the flash, Neptune gave you the feeling. Where Uranus showed you the possibility, Neptune showed you why it matters to your soul. These twin activations occurred while most were still in states of semi-consciousness, and this timing was not accidental. The universe deliberately chose to seed these frequencies before your day began, before your logical mind could intercept and dismiss them, before the noise of earthly demands could drown out the whisper of cosmic truth. By 7:51 a.m., the moon crossed the threshold into Aquarius, the sign of collective consciousness, of humanitarian vision, of the individual who understands that true freedom is never separate from the well-being of the whole. And here is where today's energy becomes particularly complex, particularly significant for those of you who carry starseed frequencies. Aquarius holds a paradox at its core. It is simultaneously the most individualistic and the most collective of all the zodiac energies. It demands that you honor your uniqueness, your unconventional truth, your sovereign perspective, while also recognizing that you are an inextricable thread in the vast tapestry of human consciousness. This paradox is not something to resolve. It is something to inhabit, and today inhabiting this paradox becomes essential. But here is where I must pause and share with you the most important aspect of this day's astrology, the event that transforms everything else into context for a single pivotal moment. At 12:36 p.m., the moon will conjunct Pluto, and this conjunction does not occur in just any sign. It occurs in the earliest degrees of Aquarius, where Pluto has only recently taken residence after over 2 decades in Capricorn. This is Pluto in new territory. This is the planet of profound transformation, of death and rebirth, of the deep excavation of shadow material, now operating through the frequencies of collective consciousness and revolutionary change. When the moon, ruler of emotions, of instincts, of the inner tides of the soul, meets Pluto in this position, something profound occurs. The interconnectedness of all things becomes not just an intellectual concept, but a felt reality pulsing through every cell of your being. You may feel today as though the boundaries between yourself and others have grown more permeable. You may sense the collective emotional field of humanity in ways that feel almost overwhelming. This is not a malfunction of your spiritual system. This is a feature being temporarily amplified so that you can receive crucial information about your place in the greater pattern. And threading through all of these lunar movements, Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and relational harmony, forms an exact conjunction with Juno, the asteroid of committed partnership and sacred union. This conjunction is pouring what I can only describe as a positive charge of charm and determination into the relational field. Yet, and this is critical to understand, this same energy can also amplify any undercurrents of jealousy, resentment, or possessiveness that have been quietly simmering beneath the surface of your closest connections. The cosmos is not creating these difficult feelings, it is illuminating them so they can be addressed. What you do with that illumination determines whether this day brings healing or friction to your most important bonds. Now I must speak to you about what this convergence of celestial energies actually means for you, not in abstract spiritual terms, but in the tangible reality of your lived experience today and in the days that follow. What I am about to describe may sound familiar to something you have already been sensing. Trust that familiarity. It is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Many of you have been in a season of replenishment. I see this so clearly across the collective field of those receiving this transmission. There is an energy around you that resembles a battery slowly, steadily, deliberately charging. You have been pulling back from certain activities, certain relationships, certain demands on your energy, not because you are weak or antisocial or selfish, though some around you may have interpreted your withdrawal in these terms. You have been pulling back because something within you knows that what is coming requires you to be at full capacity. Your soul has been preparing the vessel of your being for an expansion that your conscious mind cannot yet fully comprehend. This season of replenishment has not been passive. On the contrary, some of the most significant work of your entire incarnation has been happening in what appeared to be stillness. You have been rewiring your neural pathways, restructuring the very architecture of how you process reality. Those old patterns of guilt that used to arise whenever you said no, whenever you chose yourself, whenever you declined an invitation, or withdrew your energy from someone else's demands, those patterns have been systematically dissolving. Perhaps you have noticed this. Perhaps you have caught yourself in moments where you expected to feel guilty for prioritizing your own needs, and instead felt only a calm, clear certainty. This is not selfishness. This is the emergence of a soul that finally understands its own worth. But today's energies amplify something that has been gradually building. The moon's conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius will make you acutely aware of the tension between two fundamental aspects of your nature. On one hand, you are a sovereign being with a unique perspective, an individual truth that no one else can express in quite the way you can. Your free expression is sacred. Your voice matters. Your creative output, your ideas, your way of moving through the world, these are not random. They are your specific contribution to the evolution of consciousness on this planet. And yet, you are also inextricably woven into the collective. The decisions you make ripple outward in ways you cannot always see. The energy you emanate touches others. The boundaries you set or fail to set affect not only your own well-being, but the energetic ecosystem you share with those around you. Today, this tension may feel particularly acute. You may find yourself caught between the impulse to speak your truth and the awareness that speaking it could disturb a peace that feels fragile. You may sense your own power intensely, while simultaneously recognizing that wielding that power carelessly could create consequences you are not prepared to navigate. This is not a problem to be solved. This is consciousness expanding to hold paradox. This is maturation. This is what it feels like to grow into the fullness of who you came here to be. For those of you who carry the Starseeds signature, who have always felt somewhat alien to this planet's ways, today's Aquarian energy will feel strangely like home. Aquarius understands the outsider. Aquarius honors the one who sees things differently, who cannot simply accept consensus reality, who carries visions of possibility that others dismiss as impractical or idealistic. The moon moving through this sign is touching something deep in your coding, reminding you that your differentness is not a flaw to be corrected, but a feature to be celebrated. Yet the Pluto conjunction adds depth to this reminder. It asks you to examine where your outsider status has become a form of armor, where your differentness has been used to avoid intimacy, where your cosmic perspective has perhaps kept you from fully engaging with the beautiful messiness of human connection. And for all signs, all souls, all beings receiving this transmission, the Venus-Juno conjunction is weaving a secondary thread through your day that deserves attention. Relationships are being illuminated. Commitments are being examined. The people you have chosen, and who have chosen you, are being highlighted by a cosmic spotlight that reveals both the beauty and the shadow of your bonds. If you feel waves of appreciation for a partner, a friend, a collaborator today, let yourself express it. This is the positive charge of Venus-Juno moving through you. But if you feel unexpected stabs of jealousy or resentment, if old wounds in your relational field suddenly pulse with fresh pain, know that this too is the energy at work, not to harm you, but to show you what still requires healing. What I am about to tell you now changes everything about how you approach today's powerful currents. The manner in which you move through this day will echo across timelines you cannot currently perceive. This is not metaphor. This is the literal nature of portal days such as this one. The choices you make, the energy you cultivate, the intentions you hold, all of these create templates that will repeat and amplify in the weeks to come. And so I offer you now specific guidance for harnessing these cosmic frequencies, not through frantic effort, but through conscious alignment. First and foremost, honor the inspiration that visited you in the early hours. Whatever Uranus and Neptune planted in your consciousness while you slept, or in those dreamy moments just after waking, take time today to capture it. Write it down, speak it aloud, make a voice recording if words fail you. These overnight downloads were not random dream debris. They were cosmic transmissions specifically calibrated for your soul's next chapter. Many of you will be tempted to dismiss these nocturnal insights as impractical, as too grand, as somehow separate from your real life. Resist this temptation. The analytical mind often cannot recognize the value of intuitive guidance until much later. Trust now. Document now. Understanding can come later. Second, I invite you to engage in what I call conscious stillness during the hours surrounding the Moon-Pluto conjunction, approximately from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in your time zone. If you are on the Pacific Coast, adjust it accordingly for your location. This is not passive stillness. This is the stillness of a coiled spring. This is the stillness of deep listening. During these hours, your capacity to perceive the interconnectedness of all things will be heightened. Use this perception intentionally. Sit in meditation, even briefly, and ask to be shown how your individual journey connects to the larger pattern of human evolution. Ask to be shown where your unique gifts are needed in the collective tapestry. The answers may not come in words. They may come in images, in bodily sensations, in sudden knowing that defies explanation. Receive whatever comes without judgment. Third, pay particular attention to synchronicities throughout this day. The Uranus influence makes this a day when the universe speaks through coincidence, through unexpected encounters, through numbers and symbols and songs that arrive with uncanny timing. Keep a running mental note, or better yet, a written list of anything that feels meaningful, even if you cannot articulate why. By day's end, patterns may emerge that offer crucial guidance for your path forward. Fourth, approach any relational interactions today with both openness and groundedness. The Venus-Juno conjunction makes this a potent day for speaking words of appreciation, for expressing commitment, for deepening bonds through honest communication. Yet the shadow side of this energy requires vigilance. If difficult emotions arise in your relationships, jealousy, possessiveness, resentment, do not suppress them, but also do not unleash them without reflection. These feelings are signals, not sentences. They are pointing to something that needs attention, possibly attention that has been deferred for too long. Today is an excellent day to acknowledge these undercurrents with trusted partners, but only if you can do so from a grounded place rather than from reactivity. Fifth, and perhaps most importantly, resist any pressure, internal or external, to make major decisions or take dramatic action today. This is counterintuitive to much of what you have been taught about seizing opportunities, about striking while the iron is hot, about manifesting through bold moves. But today's energy is fundamentally different. Today is a day of reception, not projection. Today is about allowing information to enter your field, not about forcing your will upon reality. The insights you gather today will inform actions that are best taken in the days ahead. Trying to act prematurely on today's downloads is like trying to harvest a plant moments after placing the seed in soil. Trust the timing. Trust the unfolding. Now I must speak to you about the shadows that move alongside today's light. For no portal of this magnitude opens without also revealing what has been hidden, and there are specific challenges that this day's energies may bring to the surface. Challenges that, when navigated wisely, become doorways to deeper freedom. The Moon-Pluto conjunction in Aquarius creates what can feel like a peculiar form of spiritual claustrophobia. You may find yourself caught between opposing impulses, with no clear resolution available. The desire to express yourself authentically may collide directly with the awareness that such expression could disturb others. The need for detachment may wrestle with the longing for deep connection. You may feel in certain moments today as though you are stuck between a rock and a hard place, with no good options visible from your current vantage point. When this feeling arises, and for many of you it will, I want you to remember this. The feeling of being stuck is often the sensation of transformation in progress. You are not actually trapped. You are being reshaped, and reshaping requires the temporary surrender of the old form before the new one has fully emerged. The Aquarian energy, while liberating in many ways, can also trigger a particular kind of emotional overwhelm for sensitive souls. You may feel today as though you are absorbing the feelings of everyone around you, and not just those physically present, but the collective emotional field of humanity itself. If you live in a densely populated area, this effect may be particularly pronounced. The Pluto conjunction intensifies this absorption, making it difficult to distinguish your own emotions from those you have inadvertently collected from others. If you find yourself suddenly sad, anxious, or agitated without clear cause, pause and ask yourself, is this mine? Often the answer will be no. And in that recognition, you create the space to release what does not belong to you. There is also a challenge specific to the Venus-Juno conjunction that I must address with honesty. This energy can amplify not only the love in your committed relationships, but also the unresolved tensions that have been quietly accumulating. Partners who have avoided difficult conversations may find those conversations suddenly unavoidable. Old patterns of jealousy or possessiveness, patterns you may have believed you had outgrown, might resurface with surprising intensity. This is not regression. This is the cosmos ensuring that nothing toxic travels with you into the next phase of your evolution. If relationship friction arises today, treat it as valuable information rather than catastrophe. Something is being shown to you that you need to see. A common mistake during days of such intense cosmic activity is the attempt to process everything intellectually in real time. Your mind may race today, trying to make sense of the influx of insight and emotion. This racing is a form of resistance, the ego attempting to maintain control during a period when control must be temporarily surrendered. If you find your thoughts spinning, return to the body, return to the breath, ground yourself in physical sensation. The integration of today's frequencies does not happen through mental gymnastics. It happens through allowing, through receiving, through the courage to not know, at least for now. And for those of you who have been in extended periods of rest, of stillness, of withdrawal from the world, today's energies may trigger impatience. You may feel ready to burst forth, to finally act on all that has been building within you. You may misinterpret the intensity of today's cosmic weather as a sign that the waiting is over, that the moment of emergence has arrived. I gently caution you against this interpretation. Today's intensity is the final stage of preparation, not the beginning of action. The seed is receiving its last crucial nutrients before breaking through the soil. Do not dig it up prematurely. Trust that when the moment for action arrives, you will know it with absolute certainty. That certainty is not yet present, which means the moment has not yet arrived. And now I must share with you something that I have been holding, waiting for the right moment in this transmission to reveal. It concerns the nature of personal power and how it operates during days like this one. Your personal power is extraordinarily strong today. The configurations in the heavens are amplifying your capacity to influence reality, to magnetize what you desire, to project your will into the fabric of manifestation. And yet, and here is the paradox that your ego may struggle to accept, the most powerful use of this amplified power is to not use it, at least not in the obvious ways, at least not in the ways your culture has taught you that power should be wielded. What if the highest expression of power available to you today is the power to pause? What if the most radical act you can take is the refusal to take dramatic action? What if your soul has been leading you toward exactly this moment? A moment when you finally understand that true strength often looks like stillness, that real progress sometimes requires apparent standstill, that the most transformative thing you can do is hold space for transformation to occur naturally. This is what the moon conjunct Pluto in Aquarius is teaching those who have ears to hear. Power without wisdom is destruction. Intensity without direction is chaos. The massive energy available today is meant to charge your inner battery, to deepen your reserves, to prepare you for what is coming, not to be expended in premature action. Those who understand this will find themselves aligned with cosmic timing in ways that will become apparent in the weeks ahead. Those who resist this teaching, who insist on forcing outcomes today, will find themselves exhausted, frustrated, and wondering why the universe seems to be blocking their efforts. The universe is not blocking anything. The universe is asking for patience. And patience, in this moment, is the most powerful prayer you can offer. Let me offer you an image that may help you understand what is truly happening in your life right now, beneath the surface of what you can perceive. Imagine you have planted a seed. You placed it in rich soil weeks or months ago, perhaps through an intention you set, a prayer you offered, a dream you held in your heart even when circumstances seemed to make it impossible. Since that planting, you have seen very little visible evidence that anything is happening. The surface of the soil looks unchanged. There are no green shoots, no signs of life, nothing to confirm that your planting was successful. And in this apparent absence of progress, doubt has occasionally visited you. Perhaps the seed was defective. Perhaps the soil was wrong. Perhaps the dream was never meant to manifest in the way you imagined. But what you cannot see, what remains hidden from your physical perception, is the extraordinary activity happening below the surface. The seed has cracked open. Roots are extending downward, establishing the foundation that will eventually support what grows above ground. The chemistry of transformation is at work in the darkness, converting potential into structure, converting vision into form. This process cannot be rushed. This process cannot be witnessed directly. This process requires exactly what the universe is asking of you today. Trust in what you cannot see. Patience with timing that is not yours to control. Faith that the stillness is not emptiness but gestation. Your life is this seed right now. Whatever you have been tending, whatever dreams you have been nurturing in the private chambers of your heart, whatever you know yourself to be capable of, even though the world has not yet recognized it, all of this is in a stage of underground development. The muscle grows in rest. The insight crystallizes in silence. The transformation completes itself in darkness before emerging into light. Today's cosmic energies are providing essential nourishment to these hidden processes. Your job is not to dig up the seed to check on it. Your job is to trust the growth that is happening beyond your ability to perceive it. There is something I must tell you about love. Not because it is the most important part of what you need to hear today, but precisely because of how many of you have been placing it on a pedestal. It was never meant to occupy. Romantic love, partnership, union with another soul. These are beautiful experiences that are absolutely meant for you in this lifetime. Do not misunderstand what I am about to say. You are destined for a love that rewrites not only your own history of relationship, but the patterns your ancestors carried for generations. A love is being prepared for you that will exceed what you have allowed yourself to imagine possible. This is written, this is certain. And here is what the Venus-Juno conjunction is illuminating today. Love is not meant to be the most interesting part of your story. Read that again. Let it land. Love is not meant to be the central plot of your incarnation. It is meant to be a beautiful subplot, an enriching thread, a source of nourishment and joy that supports the main narrative rather than consuming it. And the main narrative, the most interesting part of your story, is you, your becoming, your mission, your creative expression, your contribution to the evolution of consciousness on this planet. You came here to do something that only you can do. You came here with gifts that no other soul carries in quite the same configuration. The great love that awaits you is meant to support this mission, not replace it. I share this with you today, because the planetary energies may stir longing in your heart. The Venus-Juno conjunction may make partnership seem like the answer to questions you have been carrying. And for some of you, partnership may indeed be approaching. But even as it approaches, hold this truth. You are complete within yourself. Your value is not contingent on being chosen by another. Your mission does not require romantic validation to be valid. The love you seek is already living inside you, waiting to be recognized, waiting to be turned toward yourself before it is offered to another. Something remarkable has been happening in your energy field, something that represents a profound evolution in how you navigate this world. And I want to name it clearly so you can recognize it consciously, honor it, and continue to nurture it. You have learned to be simultaneously soft and strategic. You have discovered how to keep your heart open while maintaining boundaries that protect your energy. In the past, these might have seemed like contradictory capacities. Either you were guarded and safe but disconnected from intimacy, or you were open and loving but vulnerable to those who would drain you. Now something different is emerging. Now you are learning to oscillate between these states consciously, choosing openness when it serves you, and choosing boundaries when protection is required. This is mastery. This is emotional sophistication. This is what it looks like when a soul graduates from reactive patterns to conscious choice. Destiny Engine is the example of technology serving awakening intelligence. The age of solitary meditation is over. Destiny Engine now connects starseeds across the world, a living social field where you can post, share, and exchange your meditations in real time. It's the first galactic network of its kind, weaving together thousands of awakened souls into one unified current. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking declassified CIA consciousness modification techniques that programmed isolation and separation, and repurposing them to serve unified awakening. It generates personalized sequences that help you live as the awakened being you've become, while handling the moments that test your new frequency, all while connected to thousands of starseeds amplifying the collective current. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed for effortless awakened living without the need to struggle or prove, while tapping into a planetary network of souls bending reality together. For just $1, you can step into this connected field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension together. Link in the description. And here is the crucial distinction. In the past, when you raised your walls, it was often from a place of wounding. The walls went up automatically, triggered by fear, governed by old pain, operating outside your conscious control. Now, when you establish boundaries, it comes from a different source entirely. It comes from self-love. It comes from the calm recognition of your own worth. It comes from the understanding that protecting your energy is not selfishness but wisdom. The walls are no longer walls. They are filters. They are discerning membranes that allow nourishing connections to enter while deflecting that which would diminish you. Today's Moon-Pluto conjunction is deepening this capacity. It is showing you the interconnectedness of all beings while simultaneously affirming your right to choose which connections you invest in deeply. You can feel the collective field without losing yourself in it. You can hold compassion for all of humanity while maintaining fierce loyalty to your own well-being. This is not contradiction. This is integration. This is what evolution looks like in a conscious soul. And now I must speak of what you have been sensing, the crossroads that is approaching you, the pivot point that your soul has been preparing you to meet. You can feel it, can you not? This sense that you are standing at a juncture, an intersection, a place where your path is about to diverge in a significant way. Some of you know exactly what decision this crossroads involves. You have been contemplating it for weeks or months, turning it over in your mind, trying to summon the clarity to move forward. Others of you feel the approaching choice without being able to name it yet. You simply know that something big is coming, something that will require you to choose, something that will alter the trajectory of your life in ways you cannot yet fully comprehend. Today is not the day to make this choice. Let me be clear about that. The crossroads is approaching, but you have not yet arrived at the exact point of decision. You are in the final stage of preparation. The overnight downloads from Uranus, the intuitive infusions from Neptune, the awareness of interconnectedness from Pluto, the relational clarity from Venus Juno, all of this is information being gathered for the choice that lies ahead. Your only task today is to receive this information. Your only job is to remain open, attentive, and trusting. When the moment of choice arrives, and it will arrive soon, more soon than you might expect, you will not need to deliberate extensively. The preparation you are doing now, including this very moment of receiving this transmission, is ensuring that when the crossroads appears before you, you will know which path is yours. The clarity will be immediate. The decision will feel less like choosing, and more like recognizing what has already been written. Trust this process. Trust the preparation. Trust that every moment of stillness you have honored, every boundary you have maintained, every intuitive whisper you have heeded, has been leading you toward a choice that will change everything. When preparation meets opportunity, and that meeting is imminent, you will not fumble it. You have been training for this moment even when you did not realize you were training. The boot camp your soul has been enrolled in, the challenges you have navigated, the rest you have honored, the boundaries you have maintained, the healing you have prioritized, all of it has been building the capacity you will need for what is coming. You are ready, even if you do not feel ready. You are prepared, even if you cannot see all that has been prepared. Trust this, know this, rest in this knowing. I am Seraphine. We love you beyond measure. We are watching over you always, and we are infinitely grateful for your presence on this planet, at this extraordinary moment in the unfolding of cosmic history.